AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Ohio, please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running hour number 2 after further review. Continuing your coverage of SEC Media Days 2025 edition. Coverage from Atlanta brought to you by Parish Construction, Roofing, Rev Business, and Relief Windows. A Thursday AFR, of course, brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. 1 hour in the book, 2 more to go. Earlier, Matt Moscona sat down with David Cohn from Crane & Company. Bring you that conversation right now.
David Cohn, Crane & Company. What up, Cohn?
How you doing, buddy? Thanks so much for having me.
Doing awesome. I'm glad you slouched in your chair a little bit. Right, sit up straight so everybody can see that you're actually a giant. David Cohn from the Atlanta area, played football at the University of Michigan.
True.
Great dual threat quarterback under Rich Rod, right? It was him and Shoelace were vying for the starting job. Isn't that how it went?
The sentence dual threat quarterback has not been a sentence that's existed in my life, but man, does it feel good to hear. It just rings in the eardrums.
Hey, did you get more joy watching Michigan win the national championship in 2022 or Ohio or did it hurt more watching Ohio State win in 2022?
No, because Michigan beat them in that national championship year, which is like all you can set. Like Michigan was an 8-5 football team. All you can do is set out to at least spoil a little bit of it for your rival. Which, had it not been for a triple expansion in the playoff, the Buckeyes don't get into that, right? But just the 2023 season, I just didn't think that I would see it. And it's not just football for Michigan. In every single sport, Michigan is great, but they can't get over the hump, right? I've seen them make finals in basketball. I've seen them Frozen Four every year in hockey. It's like, can we win a national championship? And then in football, to be able to climb that hump and to be able to beat Nick Saban in the Rose Bowl, in retrospect, I really am glad that it was Alabama and not Florida State, because had it been Florida State and Michigan goes on and beats them and beats Washington, the narrative is just completely different, and it would have been justified. Oh, congrats, you won the championship a year that no SEC team made the Final Four. That would have been the narrative, but instead you go through Alabama and Nick Saban in the Rose Bowl, and it was an incredible year, everything that Jim Harbaugh built. Now let's see. I don't know. They're talking about starting a true freshman.
Is Underwood going to start?
I've asked everyone, and we have a Michigan preview coming out on Crane & Company this week. It sounds like it's a given now at this point, because Mikey Keene, the transfer from Fresno State, missed spring practice with an injury. Now, Sharon Moore came on our show, and he explained his metrics throughout fall camp and how he's going to determine a starting quarterback. And there's this narrative of, when you pay someone X millions of dollars, you have to. I always hated that, because Ryan Mallett got recruited the year after me, and Coach Carr had to go on this publicity tour that Ryan Mallett's already the backup quarterback to Chad Henne before he even steps foot on campus. Not those exact words, but that's what the media that now I'm involved in kind of had to position Coach Carr like that. And so we're hearing that in the locker room. It's like, well, no, I want to still compete for the backup spot or the starting job. But for all intents and purposes, when the guy who transferred in, and Michigan was atrocious at the position last year, let's just be honest, you beat the Buckeyes with 60 passing yards, the guy who you brought in, who transferred in, is also missed spring practice. Like the hill he has to climb in fall camp to win the starting job, I just don't know if it can happen.
It'll be the whole Underwood thing will be fascinating, because LSU fans have to look. We'll always sort of out of the side of the eye, right? Just kind of keep an eye on what's going on there. But LSU's in a good spot in 2025 with Garrett Nussmeier.
Sure.
Like you all on Crane & Company, by the way, subscribe on the YouTube channel.
I mean, you all talk about the league as a whole, college football as a whole. Where do you have Nuss in the quarterback hierarchy?
It's funny you asked that because we just did this with Jordan Rodgers over there. I have him in the top 4 in the country. He's 4 right now for me. And
okay, who's 1, 2, 3?
So right now, I think Cade Klubnik, everything that he showed me in the bowl game last year in the college football playoff and the growth that he's taken, I think the hype is real with Cade Klubnik.
Okay.
I also think the same about John Mateer coming over from Washington State to Oklahoma. I think he's a complete player. Now, for anyone listening, and I know they're out there who say, yeah, that's Washington State. This is the SEC.
That's Washington State, Cone. This is the SEC.
Thank you for voicing those comments that are popping up there. Look, Cam Ward did the same thing, not necessarily in this league, but to Miami, and he went number 1 overall. I just think John Mateer is a really great player, a complete package. If his game translates, great. If it doesn't, I look like a fool, whatever. I think Lenore Sellers, just because of the ceiling, like the ceiling is just so high, I think Lenore Sellers has to get a little bit better with throwing on time. When a post route's open, 3 and hitch, and you got to throw it now, that's the part of his game that I want to see him improve on. But it's hard not to bring up Cam Newton comparisons when we talk about him. And I said this to Shane Beamer's face the day before yesterday, just because of the size and the physicality and the playmaking ability. And I think what you'll see is him extend plays with his legs, but to complete passes down the field more with that. But Garrett Nussmeier is right there. You came on our show and said he's the only returning 4,000-yard passer in the country. I'm jealous of the arm strength. I'm jealous of his arm ability and what he can do with the deep ball. Here's one thing I'd like your opinion on, because this is what I've been saying about Garrett Nussmeier. I'm interested to see what the growth has been in the offseason. If you just copy and paste from last year to this year, that's not good enough for any of these guys, right? Yep. Has Garrett Nussmeier grown in the offseason so he can be the guy who doesn't just throw for 4,000 passing yards, but late in a game says, you know what, I'm going to be the difference maker, not some playmaker at wide receiver who's going to be a first round. I'm going to be the guy, even when the run game hasn't worked for us all day, I'm going to be the one who can win this game for us.
We'll see, man. See when they play Clemson and they open him.
Yeah.
I mean, he says all the right things. Yeah. Son of a coach, got the right makeup,
sure.
All the ability that you just talked about. I think that's why people are excited about the step he could take. Is there a team this week that maybe you're higher on that isn't getting buzz?
Yeah, that's a really good question. For some of the reasons that I listed with Mateer, I'm really interested in Oklahoma because they were able to retain so much of the talent that thought about hitting the portal. But then when you bring in guys like Jaden Ott, I mean, I know the kid has to stay healthy, but man, he was a heck of a player out west, And you bring in John Mateer, and I think sort of the fire that is under Brent Venables, it's kind of a now or never, and we're kind of fighting for our jobs. I think a lot of the same things about Florida right now. I've been able to see what DJ Lagway is able to do with his arm through the air. I know he's dealing with not 1 but 2 injuries coming back from that. That's always a concern, but I know what his potential is, and Billy Napier kind of the same situation. Everyone's discounting us because the schedule's the hardest in the country, and I'm going to be on the hot seat before we even kick off, and I just think Florida's a really good team, and I got a couple of those right last year in my preseason picks with them beating Ole Miss, and they beat you guys, right?
Yeah.
LSU, but again, is that they have a couple wins that maybe they're not supposed to have, but it's still 8-4, or are we talking about 10-2 and you're in the playoff conversation? That's what the question is.
I think South Carolina and Florida are both going to win 7 games.
Okay, that's what your preseason prediction is, and is that because
schedule?
Okay.
I have major roster questions.
So who is the answer for you that you asked for me? A team that's outside of that top 4 everyone's talking about.
Haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I always make that determination when I come here during the week. That's why I like to ask people the question to see what people say. Mm-hmm. Like last year for me, and this was wrong, but it was Auburn last year.
Yeah.
When you looked at Q's first year, they lost on the 4th and 31 against Bama. They were the only team to play Georgia tough, and they lost to New Mexico State. You're like, man, they were a breath away from being an 8 or 9 win team. Mm-hmm. Like year 2 under Hugh, they should take that step, and it just went the opposite way. They went 5 and 7. It was awful. So I'm not touching Auburn this year.
Is the answer going to be Texas A&M? I mean, there are no glaring weaknesses. Marcel Reed is a playmaker. Is that who's going to step up?
Maybe. Nelko is such a good defensive coordinator. He can win a lot of games playing good defense. I mean, Les Miles did that for years in Baton Rouge, running the ball, playing good defense. So we'll see about Reed if he's ready to be the guy at Texas A&M. David Cohn, Crane & Company, hanging out with us here, Radio Row or Digital Drive, whatever they call it, at SEC Football Media Days. What's your favorite meal in the world?
I love seafood, man, which I'm sure you can appreciate.
Yeah,
So
man.
oysters for me, scallops probably second, man. I go in for the shellfish, even more than the traditional fish.
Well, how do you like your oysters prepared?
I'll eat them any way that they come. I had Rockefeller this past week at Kid Rock's new place, the Detroit Cowboy in Nashville, which I'd love for you to come with me. Let's have a couple of bourbons.
I'm coming for LSU Vandy this year.
Okay, good.
Doing my show there the Friday before.
You know what week that is? September, October?
Oh, it's October.
October, okay, good. So let's do that then. I had Rockefeller, but I love them raw, I love them steamed. We do a Cone Family Oyster Steam every year in December for my birthday. And then I like them, I love them fried, but you know, fried, you gotta know what you're doing. You can't just cake them in batter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, seafood, I don't need fried seafood. I will eat it.
Yeah.
I will eat it. I don't need it fried. There's so many better ways to prepare it than throwing batter in and throwing in grease. You know what I mean? It's delicious, but I would rather eat it different ways.
Fair enough.
Char-grilled oysters? Have you had char-grilled oysters?
Yes, I've had them that way.
Have you had them in New Orleans?
No, but I'd love the opportunity.
What if next year SEC Media Days is in New Orleans, and then we do like a taste of the town?
I would love that. And then some beignets after.
That's cool.
Okay, you're over them. You're over them. I'm not.
It's fried dough and powdered sugar. It's not that hard.
I love that you asked me about the food question. I wasn't prepared for that, and I'm not just pandering to your audience. Like seafood, I've always loved seafood. On SEC Media Days in New Orleans, is that a fact? Is that a fact that like is not public?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What I've heard, the chatter I've heard is that. I think Orlando, Tampa, New Orleans, Houston all want to be in the mix. So we'll see.
I like it. I like Birmingham. Birmingham's fun. Hoover's fun.
No,
you don't like it. I like the smaller. We all hang out after.
Get me out of rural Birmingham in a mall.
Agree to disagree.
But I'll tell you what I don't like is I don't like. The novelty of being here is cool. The logistics of this make it very difficult.
I can't speak highly enough of the College Football Hall of Fame. And Kimberly and her team, everything they did. This is where we started, right down there when we were with Colin Cowherd's network. Every single day right here at the College Football Hall of Fame. They're incredible. They're awesome. But yes, so much of what the coaches have to do is in the Omni. And they don't want to come over, and it's just a whole thing.
I know. Yeah. All right, who wins the national championship?
I'm really close to picking Clemson, which I don't know if I should do. I don't know if that's going to come back to bite me in the butt, man. But that would be in 3 straight years the SEC doesn't have the national champion, and I don't know if that's going to happen. But what's so interesting about the league this year, talking about the SEC specifically, is the quarterback talk. You know, I mean, so many of the traditional top dogs, you know, when you talk about Georgia and Alabama, don't have a guy that's necessarily returning at quarterback. And then so many of the guys that we talked about with like a Lenore Sellers or DJ Lagway, is the schedule going to be too tough for them to like win a championship, and is the roster complete enough? That's why LSU is so attractive. One of those traditional SEC top tier teams who also is returning one of the best teams in the country. That's why I like you guys so much, and we get to see you and Clemson face off week 1. Penn State still has to show it to me. I think their roster is going to be as good as it has been in the James Franklin era, and Drew Aller is a good enough quarterback to lead them to what they've been doing. Double-digit win seasons, college football playoff. Does that mean national champion? I don't know. Who are you picking?
Haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I got to start making some decisions though.
Yeah.
To go on record, but the week's not over yet.
Do you wait until fall camp? I mean, that's a huge part of the assemblage of a football team. Yeah. But then also you miss out on the media.
I'll do the preseason thing this year. Like last year, I picked Georgia, Texas to play for the SEC championship. Georgia wins, so I hit that. But I picked 3 SEC teams to make the playoff. My third was not Tennessee.
You picked 3?
I picked 3 last year.
You picked 3 preseason last year? Well, then you're the only person.
Everyone's saying 4 or 5.
Everyone who came on Crane and Company picked 5 teams, and I tried to explain to them how there was going to be cannibalization within the league. I picked 4. If you picked 3, hats off to you because you got it right.
Go back if you have any interest in doing so. On an interview I did in Crane and Company, certainly talked about picking 3, but I went and looked at the start of the 4-team playoff era in 2014, and I looked at, under this format, how many times in that decade would the SEC have gotten 3, 4, 5? There were actually a couple of years, Cone, where they would have gotten 2.
Okay.
So like the idea that SEC, boom, 4 or 5 every. I was like, that's not reality.
Yeah.
Just look at the 10-year sample size. And then there was the argument, well, Texas and OU come in. I get it changes things, but anyway,
there was also the argument of, well, we have the 5 best teams in the country, but strength of schedule is not factored, and that became a whole thing too.
The third team I picked last year was not Tennessee, it was Ole Miss, and I think Ole Miss peed down its leg 3 times. They should have been in a playoff, but they screwed it up themselves, which didn't actually make me sad, other than it meant I wasn't right.
Austin Simmons is another kid who's on that list. I'm excited to watch him play. Came in relief of Jackson Dart in that Georgia game. Got them the TD drive.
Everyone saw that one drive, and they're like, oh.
I know, but there's other things too. He's from down near Pahokee, Florida, and I keep up with guys who are from that area because that's where my dad is born, and he's a 2-sport star. I mean, take that for what it's worth. Great baseball player too, though. And a conversation at the cigar bar last week with a lot of Ole Miss fans talked about his intellect. You know, this kid's already graduated. He's such a smart kid. That tells me at least you're not going to have someone who's getting in trouble or partying the night before, at least I think. I mean, I don't know him personally, but anyway, I'm excited to see what Lane can do with it.
I got to hook you up with Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. LSU alums, it's Honduran tobacco, awesome.
I'd love
and they
one.
got a commemorative championship box for LSU baseball right now. They did the Florida basketball
Congrats
championship.
on that, by the way. Also, your breakdown on our show was truly incredible, and it was accurate. You know, it was insightful, it was accurate, it was awesome.
Thank you, Cone. I appreciate it. That's David Cone from Crane & Company, who was a great dual threat quarterback under Rich Rod at the University of Michigan.
I was slow.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-001-752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from the 2025 SEC Football Media Days, powered by Parish Construction and Roofing. Enter now for your chance to win $10,000 cash at parishbuilt.com. Our coverage is also presented by Rev and Relief Windows.
Day one here at SEC Football Media Days in Atlanta. Starting quarterback of your Fighting Tigers, Garrett Nussmeier, joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Appreciate you for having me.
Old hat for you, man. How did this year compare to last?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I knew what to expect this year, at least a little bit, so a little bit more prepared. But
I mean, a double-breasted purple suit.
Yep.
Give me a fit check here, man.
Yep.
You went blue, like standard, just navy last year.
Yeah. I had to switch it up a little bit this year. Got a little 2 inside.
Wait. Can we unbutton the?
Yeah, we can. It's gonna take me minutes. No, I get it. No.
I get it. And give a shout out. Who made it for you?
Pierce Spokesman made it.
Oh yeah, Pierce Bespoke. Great dudes, man. Look at this.
Go right there.
Check out Pierce Bespoke. Shout out to him. I mean, that's a clean look right there, man. What you got on the feet?
A little Alexander McQueen on the feet. There you go. Yes, sir.
All right. I tell you what, man, you came ready, dude. You came ready today.
I appreciate it.
Hey, there's a few things that I want to check the box. Some things we'll have to talk about. I'm sure that you've answered 1,000 times today. Why do you wear number 13? Have you told this story before?
Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, my dad wore 13 throughout high school, or not high school, actually. My dad was actually a safety. Didn't play quarterback till senior year of high school, fun fact, and then played at University of Idaho. And there he wore 13. And then for the Saints, he wore 13. And so just my whole life, it was just always 13. And 10 and 5 were the backup numbers because of those are my dad's quarterbacks. Jake Locker, AJ McCarron, and then Drew Stanton was 5. So if I couldn't wear 13, it was 10 or 5. So my freshman year, actually, I was 5.
Yeah, no, I remember.
So
and then you gave that to somebody else who did pretty well in that jersey.
Well, yeah. Well, everybody tried to say he stole it from me, which is not fair. I actually was just waiting on Jontre Kirkland to get out of here. You know what I mean? So
another great LSU quarterback,
no doubt,
right?
No doubt. Yeah.
The final game of his career, he played quarterback.
That's right. And he wore 13. So he actually saved me for coming back that year, saved me from losing my shirt. So that was huge. So then I had to get 13 back. So
well, they changed the rule because of that.
Yeah, it's everybody's always talking about it. I'm like, dude, but y'all don't realize that's the Garrett Nussmeier rule, and I'm the one that got screwed over by it. Like they wouldn't make the change for me, but then they saw my case, probably were like, oh, he's probably right, and then they changed it the next year. That's unbelievable.
Did you? I don't remember this. Did you have to like have a formal ask in case?
Oh yeah, we went all the way to the wire. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to play like I'd say a week and a half before the game, actually. So I mean, I was practicing like I was going to play in the game, and then about a week and a half to 2 weeks before the game, they were like, "All right, no, definitely no." They denied the appeal and everything. So
this legit is the Garrett Nussmeier rule.
It literally,
I just saw Pavi a minute ago. There was like the Diego Pavi rule for the JUCOs.
No,
this legit is the Garrett Nussmeier rule. Okay, I asked that because if they do ask you to wear 18, would you do it?
100%. I mean, I love 13. It means the world to me, but to be able to wear 18 at LSU, that's special. And it would be an honor. I would not be able to say no to that. So, obviously, I've always never thought about it as a way that I want to go ask for it or anything like that. I don't believe that I've earned that or anything of that sort. The coaches make that decision. And, if I was chosen and it was me to wear 18, then I would definitely wear that with a lot of pride.
Did Hester ask you that this morning, by the way?
He did not. Okay. He did not ask me. Yes, sir. Or he may have. I've been asked a bunch of questions.
No, we're at the end of your day.
Yeah,
you've been talking for 8, 12. You've been talking now for a solid 5 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.5.
It's been a ride.
So I get it if you don't remember everything you've said. I talk for 3 hours a day every day, and I don't remember what I said 10 minutes ago. So I get that point of it. That would be interesting, man. I'm also curious, being the fact that you're going to your second year as a starter, like, what I always said at Garrett was like, if you wanted to create a quarterback in central casting, it would look like you. Size, arm strength, moxie, intangible, son of a coach, all this stuff. Check. What you didn't have going into last year was experience. We have that now.
Yep.
The play that...
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our Army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Maybe if you look for the pivotal moment was the A&M, the first interception. If I said, all right, Garrett, you get in a time machine, you can go back into that moment, that third down play.
Yeah.
And you could do the play over, what would you do?
I probably would have ran, or I would have kept my eyes outside and taken the first down right there to Xavion. I've watched that play probably 1,000 times. Xavion broke back down the sideline to me. It would have been right there for the first down. And I mean, it goes back into what I've been trying to work on. People have asked me today so many times, what are you trying to work on? And, obviously the turnovers is one of the main things people are going to bring up. And the thing is, there's a separation of turnovers, right? I'm an anticipation passer. I am a drop back passer. I'm going to throw interceptions. That is a part of the game. The problem is where I need to improve on were the interceptions that didn't need to happen. They were forced errors, just like that play against A&M, where I'm trying to make a play or I'm trying to do something outside of what I should be doing, And so plays like that, it also ties into what I've been working on so much about using my feet more. It's times where the play breaks down. I should just get back to the line of scrimmage. I should just go get 3 yards and slide. I should just maybe more, and instead I've tried to make throws or do things that I shouldn't be doing, and that's led to turnovers, and those are the ones that I've really tried to eliminate out of my game.
There was a play in spring where I guess it was a zone read, but it looked like it was a design run for you, and you ran for about 20 yards around right end, and Sloan looks at the media. He goes, y'all like that, huh? Kind of like, so it's pretty clear that that's an emphasis, right? Absolutely. Trying to get you more involved in the run game, and do they have like design packages, or is it more just what you said, awareness?
Yeah, I'd say, we always kind of run plays that involve with maybe a defensive end read or a linebacker read that could cause me to run the ball. And I think you'll see more from me in the scrambling aspect. I don't know that I'm the type of quarterback that you design 20 runs for, you know what I mean? That's not really my game. But as I said, it leads into the floor of my game, which I've really been trying to raise, is leading into those turnovers and making those mistakes, or times where I should have just taken off and run, or just go get it when nothing's there, And I think because also that I didn't do enough of that last year, teams were able to play us in a way to where all they had to take away was the pass, because they knew I wasn't going to run. They could bracket different guys, and they won't even have a quarterback player, And so there are just so many ways that if I would have just taken that step of learning when and when not to just go get a couple yards, that teams would have had to play us totally different, which obviously opens up the field for guys who clearly we have so much speed now and so many guys that can make so many different plays. It would open up more for them.
Garrett Nussmeier is our guest. I asked Chris this earlier. This is a good problem to have, but there are so many guys. How do you distribute the football and get everybody their touches?
It's tough. I mean, when you have so many different players who are all so special in many different ways, it's hard. It's like you get a guy the ball, and you're like, dang, okay, well now we got to get this guy the ball, or should we have given it to that guy? You know what I mean? It's so tough. But
do you think about that? I'm starting to interrupt, but do you go through that in a game? Like, I need to get him a touch?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say necessarily as a quarterback. I'd say that's more, on the scheme and what we're trying to do, and that's not my job. I try to keep myself focused on my job, and I think that'll come within the play calls and the different things that we're doing now. And the word that I keep using today is versatility. Is we are going to be so versatile and getting guys the ball in many different ways, allowing them to make plays. And as a quarterback, it goes back to kind of early on in my career as a freshman. I remember just learning how to be a better distributor of just doing my job and just giving the guy the ball. Just give a guy a chance to make a play, put the ball in his hands and allow him to do the rest, because that's what they're here for. And we have so many guys who are capable of that now. And so it's been an emphasis for me to just be a distributor, to be a general, to just get the ball in the guys' hands and allow them to go make the plays.
I'm sure y'all are going to go eat a steak. What's you're a steak guy, right? You have to be.
Absolutely.
All right. What's your favorite cut?
Well, really, I've always been a filet guy, but lately I've kind of enjoyed the bone and ribeye a little bit.
See, this is growth in life. So you got engaged recently, right? That's a big life step.
I did.
Also graduating from filet to a ribeye, especially if you're going bone in, you're on the cowboy cut. That's amazing.
Yes.
Now, what temperature?
Yes, sir. Medium rare always. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on now. That's never changed though.
So Whit got that already. Yes, sir. I did just mention that he got engaged. Is how many players, Coach, would you mind? She said no 3 times?
Maybe something like that. All right.
Oh,
it was a little nerve-wracking, I'd say that.
What about, have you told the engagement story yet today?
Yeah, once somebody asked for the full layout, so I gave them the full rundown. And I mean, we were at her family's lake house in Oklahoma, and we had the flowers and all that set up. Her mom did a lot and helped me with all that. So
you told them, they knew it was coming.
Oh yeah. Both families were involved. Both families were there. Had them hidden to the side. They got to see the moment, but it was really cool. Really.
Y'all met at LSU?
No, sir. We actually we've been together since my junior year of high school.
Okay.
So she went to Byron Nelson High School, which is about 20 minutes away from Flower Mound Marcus. So we've been together a while. We had some rough patches in there for sure in the beginning of college. Kind of adjusting, but we've basically grown up together as far as that. So.
Congratulations, man. That's an awesome life step. It was cool to see. Garrett Nussmeier, we're looking forward to an awesome season, man. I know y'all are poised for great things. Good health and good luck this, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. God bless.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General campus, I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center, state-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. williamsoneye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
Continuing here on After Further Review, Thursday show presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Keeping you up to date coverage from SEC Football Media Days 2025, presented by Parish Construction, Roofing, Rev Business, and Relief Windows. We got to grab a break. When we come back, Matt sits down with Chris Marler from LouisianaSports.net. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
GLO. GlowResources.com. GlowResources.com. Glow Resources. They are complete employer solutions. Get them by Glow Resources or go to glowresources.com. If you're a business owner and you want to be more efficient, maybe you're really struggling to find the right person in your job at your place to make your business more efficient. Maybe you're struggling to find people who are responsible, people that show up on time, people that are efficient when they work. You ever had a job where you think, man, that should have been done in 2 hours and it takes 8 hours? Well, what if you had the right people to get that done? I'm telling you, Glow Resources can find them. And while their corporate headquarters are here in Baton Rouge, which I love about them, by the way, they've got offices in Miami, in Orlando, in Houston, in New Orleans, in the Golden Triangle, and they service businesses all over the world. So no matter where your business does business, if you need the right people, you need Glow Resources.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from the 2025 SEC Football Media Days, powered by Parish Construction and Roofing. Enter now for your chance to win $10,000 cash at parishbuilt.com. Our coverage is also presented by Rev and Relief Windows.
Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net. He covers the SEC and things of such. How are you?
Good. Tired.
Yeah, we're at the end of the week. I'm curious who you think is going to be like the breakout star in the SEC this year.
Man, that's honestly, there's not a lot of returning quarterbacks. I think it's over half the league has a quarterback that's starting for the first time at whatever place they're at. So Austin Simmons is a kid that is only 19, but he's been in school for like 2 or 3 years. And he's going to be in an offense that, for Lane Kiffin, has had in 8 of the last 11 years at least 30 touchdowns and or 3,000 yards passing. So I feel like the numbers are going to be there. I would say him.
Okay. Austin Simmons at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Do you like Ole Miss this year?
No. I mean, the schedule is very, very favorable, but I don't. They lost so much after like that attempted run last year where they tried to kind of like buy their way to the playoffs. So.
Is that not a good strategy? Because that's what LSU's totally doing this year.
That's different, though.
Why?
Because you guys are better than them, and also Miami and Ole Miss both did exactly what like Major League Baseball teams do, like after the All-Star break, like trying to make a run to the playoff, and it backfired, I think.
If I asked you what is like the best SEC venue to watch a game, you've been to a lot. What do you think?
Oh man. Vandy's pretty tough to play in recently for some people. It's a hostile environment now.
You got a construction zone in the end zone.
The abandoned construction zone, just the crane in the background.
It's really intimidating.
The best environment, I would say. I really like Georgia. I think LSU is. It's hard not to say LSU, but LSU, Tennessee, and Georgia are on like another level when they have a big game, especially when they have a big win. Like last year, LSU like versus Ole Miss, I haven't seen anything like that. Like it was incredible. Tennessee when they beat Alabama and the entire stadium came out on the field and fireworks and it's on the river. That's pretty cool too.
So you flip it, what would you say is like maybe the most overrated venue?
Oxford, Mississippi as a city is the most overrated place. Don't look at me like that. It's the most overrated place, I think, in the country, because it's built up like it's super fancy, super fun. And it's like this experience. It should be like a bucket list thing for college football fans. Then you go there, it's way too crowded. It's like Vineyard Vine mannequins just came to life in these like really crappy tailgates. And the football's not very good. Also, they lock all the coolers, which I'm not trying to steal anybody's stuff out of the cooler. I'm just frustrated that it's not a lot of.
What coolers do they lock?
Like their coolers for like their drinks.
Like at tailgates?
Yeah.
How do you lock a cooler? Like an ice chest?
Yeah.
How do you lock an ice chest?
Fancy stuff. They're Mississippi rich, which is they'll tell you about that a lot.
Chris Marler's with us from LouisianaSports.net. What team do you think is, the breakout team in the league who maybe we're underestimating, ready to make that big charge forward?
So I think that the one that I keep going back to is we were talking about Tennessee as a potential playoff contender again. Schedule's very manageable. Most difficult games, they get Georgia super early, you got to go to Bama. But they could be 10-2 very easily. We talked about that because Nico was the quarterback. The moment he left, everyone's considered him like a 7-win team. Nico was not that great. He's not that much of a difference maker. So I feel like they are a team that is somehow flying under the radar and has all the pieces to go back exactly where they were last year.
What about a team that maybe is flying under the radar right now that could have the big breakthrough season?
Big breakthrough season. It's not Florida. As much as that schedule is so difficult. The schedule is so difficult, and they have 4 straight games in their first 6. They've at LSU and at Texas back to back, or at LSU at Miami back to back. Then they have Texas and Texas A&M. So and that's before they play Georgia and Ole Miss. There's no let up in that schedule. The team I think they could really break through maybe is South Carolina. They don't have as complete of a team as they did last year, but they have a quarterback that, as we saw last year, can count for a lot and make up for a lot of deficiencies they have.
No concern about that schedule?
I mean, so it's pretty much the same schedule as last year, and the schedule was difficult last year, but they ended the season with 6 wins and 4 of them against ranked teams.
So no concern about going to Baton Rouge or?
That's in the first half.
So
that's a loss. That's a loss in Baton Rouge.
What about the other parts of the schedule that would be treacherous?
So Clemson is late. That one is obviously concerning. They might be the best team in the country on paper, going into the season. A&M is going to be in November as well. That's at A&M. They've never beat them there. I think they're 2-11 since they joined the SEC. So those are both concerning. But over the last 3 years, Beamer is undefeated. He's 6-0 against ranked teams in the month of November. Hopefully that trend continues. So
who do you think wins the SEC, and who do they beat?
Oh man, I don't want to say Texas and Georgia. I don't want to say that. I think LSU is going to make it into it. I think Georgia is also going to make it. So I'm going to say Georgia and LSU. Georgia beats LSU.
He's Chris Marler from LouisianaSports.net. You can read his stuff, and you should read his stuff at LouisianaSports.net. It's a great website, I heard.
You should read my stuff.
I do. I have to edit a lot of your stuff.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
Long time.
Thank you.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our Army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We're brought to you by Rouse's, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. They got Rouse's everywhere, y'all. Speaking of what, you need to save some money? Go to Rouse's. Get the weekly ad. Go to Rouses.com. You can click on the weekly ad. You're going to shop for your groceries. You're on a budget. Rouses is going to help you save. Or just go to Rouses and look for the Rouses branded products, because one of the most impressive things about Rouses is whenever they have that Rouses the R logo with the circle around it. If you see that Rouses branded logo, so their products, they always do whatever they can to source locally. Whatever ingredients they can source locally in Louisiana, they do it for their products. And they're going to save you money. Great quality products to save you money, and always a friendly atmosphere as well. It's Rouses, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses.com. Rouses, this feels like home.
All right, it's AFR on a Thursday, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Of course, UFC 318 is a Saturday night in the Smoothie King Center. This Saturday night, Dustin the Diamond Poirier against Max Holloway, the third fight, the trilogy fight. Supposedly, Dustin Poirier's final fight. You want to be in that number? Well, here yesterday, Matt told you he had a pair of tickets to give away, courtesy of Marler Beverage and Bud Light. Of course, Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the UFC. I'm going to tell you right now how you can win those tickets, how you enter to win those tickets. It's real simple. All you do is text BMF to 225-396-4400. BMF to 225-396-4400. That enters you to win a pair of tickets to UFC 318 Saturday night in the Smoothie King Center to see Dustin the Diamond Poirier take on Max Holloway in the trilogy fight. We will announce the winner on AFR tomorrow, Friday the 18th. So you'll want to be here for that. We got a great Friday show actually set up for you. Matt's going to be back in the host chair. He will run through the media poll, obviously from the SEC, as we do every single year. He'll give you his ballot. Terrio is here for the Riot Radio Hours. And, hey, we're giving away tickets to UFC 318. Again, text BMF to 225-396-4400 to enter yourself for a pair of tickets to the fights on Saturday night. Again, courtesy of Marler Beverage, great sponsor here on AFR, and Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the UFC. All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. We'll close out hour number 2 of AFR, but we still have plenty to come. Josh Pate, of course, Josh Pate College Football Show, Pate State. He joins Matt. We'll bring you that conversation in Arkansas. Arkansas took their turn on SEC Media Days here on the final day. John Neighbors, of course, Inside Arkansas, Locked On Razorbacks podcast, good friend of the show. He sat down with Matt as well, give you the lay of the land on the Hogs. They returned Taylon Green. Obviously, Sam Pittman, again, hot seat talk, but surprisingly just recruiting his butt off up there in Fayetteville. John Neighbors will have you all covered with that as well. So again, plenty more to come here as we wrap up our coverage from Atlanta. The 2025 SEC Football Media Days brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, Rev Business, and of course, Relief Windows. We're going to grab a break, come back on the other side, close out hour number 2 of AFR next.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Y'all, whenever we talk about the pool building process, I don't want this to be boring to you, but it's important that I point out how Duplessis goes about their process, because it gives color and description to why they were able to give a 10-year workmanship warranty. Like when some companies say, we'll build your pool in 2 weeks, like that's not a real thing. At Duplessis, the excavation takes 2 to 3 days. Then they'll shoot the gunite. Takes 21 days for gunite, for concrete to cure. So they're not going to proceed until those 21 days have passed. The product will last longer, so they're not going to rush the process. After you let that tiling and coping cure for 2 weeks, then you add water. Before you add water, then you plaster. So it's why a lot of pools start to fail in 2 to 3 years, because they don't do it right. You'll never worry about that with Duplessis Builders.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com. Live from the 2025 SEC Football Media Days, powered by Parish Construction and Roofing. Enter now for your chance to win $10,000 cash at parishbuilt.com. Our coverage is also presented by Rev and Relief Windows.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged, over at Parish Restoration, they fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it. By the time you're done with work for the day, boom, you're back in a clean-smelling, fresh-smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. Parishrestoration.com.
All right, welcome back in after further review here on a Thursday, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Let's wrap up hour number 2 with Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
We start across the pond. Open Championship at Royal Port Rush. Sam Burns wrapping up his first round. Went out in even par. Couple birdies, couple bogeys. Made the turn to the back nine. Started that. 8 straight pars on the back nine. Birdied number, I apologize. 7 straight pars on the back nine. Birdied number 17. Finished out with a par for a 1 under 70 round. Burns at 1 under. Tied for 20th, but just 3 shots off the lead after round number 1. We'll keep you updated as he finishes out throughout the week and hopefully into the weekend. WNBA All-Star break is here. Anissa Morrow for the Connecticut Sun in her final game before the break. 7 points, 12 boards, all off the bench, 23 minutes there. Angel Reese did not play in the final game for the All-Star break. She's nursing a little bit of a leg injury there. It's coach's decision, thin leg injury, probably just a little bit of load management. We'll see how that goes. Get you an update on all the All-Star festivities as the week, or I should say to start next week. Then an injury update on Aaron Nola. So just a quick week recap here for you if you're unfamiliar with what's been going on with Nola. Nola had a right ankle sprain, was working his way from there, and then they discovered a stress fracture in his right rib. Started on, I believe it was the 15-day IL. He since was moved to the 60-day IL on June 19th, but it has progressed. On July 12th, he threw a 40-pitch bullpen session. He threw live batting practice July 15th and is scheduled to throw another live batting practice session for the Phillies on Saturday, July 19th. If all continues to go according to plan, you could see an early to mid-August return for Aaron Nola with the Phillies. Just hasn't been the season, obviously, that he's wanted there. It started out rough in general, then the ankle sprain, then the rib, and now just trying to work his way back. Of course, after all the bullpen sessions and the throwing, you'll see a rehab assignment as well for Nola. But early to mid-August, that is what the Phillies are targeting right now for Aaron Nola. That is Tigers in the Pros. This is after further review here on a Thursday. Wrapping up our coverage from Atlanta, SEC Football Media Days 2025. We have 1 hour left to go. A couple things to get to. Josh Payton, of course, Arkansas took their turn at Media Days here on Thursday as well. We'll bring you some conversations that Matt had surrounding the Hogs as we get into hour number 3 here on AFR. Scone is back on Friday. Terrio will be here. He'll give you his final thoughts about SEC Media Days, go through the poll, give you his ballot, all of those things. And they're going to give away $10,000 from Parrish and tickets to the UFC 318 from Bud Light. Hour 3 is next here on AFR.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, and SouthPointVW.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. You know, one of the things that's really worth stressing when I tell you all the time about why I love driving a Volkswagen. Remember, at South Point Volkswagen, their vehicles are manufactured right here in the US of A. So you get the great German engineering, safety features, performance, all of it, without the cost and the benefit of supporting American jobs. But even more importantly right now, as people talk about tariffs and rising costs and all that stuff, these vehicles are manufactured in the US of A, so you don't even have to worry about the tariffs and all that conversation. So another benefit of shopping at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, and they're awesome people as well. Volkswagen, so much it's a culture, it's a vibe, it's fun to drive, and they're fun to deal with as well. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen.
You're great at protecting your own personal information. You probably even use things like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN. But as much as you try to be in control of how your information is protected, there are lots of places that also have it, and they might not be as careful as you are. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist will help solve identity theft issues on your behalf, guaranteed or your money back. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. You might not be able to control how others handle your personal information, but you can help protect it with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code iHeart or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.